What's up, everybody? Smoove Cosplayer here, your favorite salsa dancing cosplayer. Tonight, I'm starting a new segment of my YouTube channel called Smoove Conversations, where basically I just talk cosplay with some of my favorite members of my cosplay family. Speaking of family, I have with me for the first interview my lovely wife, Naya.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me, babe.
Sure.
Cool. So I'm going to start off all my interviews the way Sanaa Lathan's character did in Brown Sugar, with a little twist to it. So, when did you fall in love with cosplay?
Well, as you know, I am not in love with cosplay.
This is true. I knew that, y'all. I knew that.
I'm in love with a cosplayer.
That works. Good enough. Good enough. So I knew that you actually are not in love with cosplay. But I know in the past you told me that you respect and admire certain things about the hobby and the community. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. So I didn't know anything about cosplay before I met you.
Right.
And through what I learned, the community is very welcoming. It is like a family,
Okay.
which I really like that. And then there's so much effort and creativity and problem solving put into creating the costumes that come up, and some of them are mind-blowingly amazing. So I really admire those parts of the hobby.
Okay. Cool. All right. So a few years back, I would say, right around the time you cosplayed with me that one time. So I believe you wrote this article called "Wiped Up to a Cosplayer." Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Okay. So when I read that article, I remember thinking every cosplayer needs to read this. This will be something very inspiring to them. And I also felt like if they have any significant others, that's a must read for them as well. So can you well, I know what it's about, but tell the listeners first of all, what is it about and what motivated you to write it?
Sure. So the title is a dead giveaway. It's about being the wife of a cosplayer. And what motivated me to write it was A, what I was seeing in cosplay, and B, just getting feedback from people asking why you did cosplay and
Right.
why are you dressing up in costume, and isn't that a little childish or silly? And I could see the benefit of it, and so I wanted to write a piece about what I saw in the hobby, that, again, what I appreciated and what made it something that was not for children and
Gotcha.
very much for adults.
Amen. Yeah, I would say this. When I read that article, I felt very stood up for. Like, you had my back. I was like, ooh, yes. Okay, my wife's going to bat for me. All right. And it didn't surprise me that people said, like, I didn't know of anybody in particular that said those things, but, you know, those of us who cosplay, you know, we see this stuff coming. Somebody's going to think we're childish. Somebody's going to think we're immature, all that good stuff. Now, in that article, you mentioned a few traits that you felt proved that cosplayers were actually adulting and not immature and not irresponsible. If I remember correctly, I think there was confidence, creativity, imagination. I'm probably missing one. I'm trying not to have to unlock my phone right now, but
I think it was like something around skill building or skill development.
Yes, that's it. Skill development, yes. So can you just kind of elaborate on those 4 things real quick?
Yeah, so a lot of that comes out of, again, the focus and effort it takes to come up with an idea and then see it to completion.
Right.
Those are things that you need in any profession, especially if you're going to move up. You need to be able to be innovative. You need to be able to be creative. Again, solve problems.
Right.
And especially with the stuff that you were doing, you had these ideas around mashups, and then figuring out what that looked like. How are you going to mash these 2 characters up? What parts of their costumes were you going to do? How were you going to make sure that people knew who you were mashing up without having to explain it to everybody?
Right.
So all of those, what you learned in that skill that you were developing is something that's very transferable in parenting, in the workforce.
Right.
Those are all things you definitely need. The confidence that we need as adults to be innovative and creative, to move forward, to know that we are able to take certain risks and feel a sense of hope that yes, I think I can do this. Those are all things that I really saw come out in the work that you were doing and what other people were doing as well. So that's kind of where all that built up, and I took that piece and broke that out and said, this is what I'm seeing, here's where it applies in other places that nobody questions. Creativity and innovation or skill development in these areas. So these things are also existing in cosplay.
Cool. So for my fellow cosplayers out there who may have been fortunate as me to have someone like you who's very supportive of their hobby, how can they go about not taking their significant other for granted and showing their appreciation?
Sure. I think one of the things that we have experienced is just going through what it looks like to cosplay when you're married. You started cosplaying when you were single, and it's something that even after marriage, it started to grow as a hobby for you. You started going to more cons, you were watching YouTube videos, you were very invested in, again, developing this hobby and becoming more versed and skilled in it, which there's definitely an appreciation for it. But for it to not kind of overtake and be the main thing in the household, I think one of the things is just to be cognizant of your partner's hobbies and interests, especially when they're different. So making space and time to ask. I know you know that I'm a writer, and I like to take time out to do different writing projects. I'm very interested in cooking as well, and food. And so to ask me questions, to say, hey, we're gonna go out to eat, where do you wanna go? Being willing to try something different around my hobbies, I think is something that the audience can take and also apply to their own relationships. And I also don't think this applies to just marital relationships. I think it's any relationship that's important to you, to not let the excitement or the interest in your hobby overtake the whole relationship that includes another person, because there is a whole entire other person involved in whatever that important relationship is. So really taking time to pause on whatever you've got going on and saying, okay, I'm going to turn my full attention to what you are interested in and ask some questions, be open, maybe even do a little bit of research and say, hey, I found this great article that I think you would like about this thing. Those are ways I think you can really show that you appreciate them appreciating you, so you appreciate them back.
Amen to that. Thank you for that, because I don't want my fellow cosplayers out there making the same mistakes I made, because I think I went into it thinking that, okay, as long as I'm not bugging her to cosplay with me again every time I go cosplay, or trying to drag her to a convention with me, as long as I'm not showing her cosplay pictures every 5 minutes, I think I'm straight. Then that ended up, like you said, with my cosplay spilling over into different areas of the house. Now, I had every intention of moving those things back and getting them out of the way, but of course procrastination sets in and it's still all over the place. What the heck is this doing in my house, So I ended up annoying you in ways that I didn't think I would annoy you. I felt like, hey, as long as I don't do this stuff, I'm good, which that was wrong. So I make mistakes, so I don't have to. Let's get into some fun questions real quick. So if you were to ever cosplay again, who would you cosplay and why?
So I want to say Carmen Sandiego. And I've already talked to you about some of my ideas that I'm not going to share in case I ever do it. I don't want somebody else to take my ideas. But Netflix has now they have a show for Carmen Sandiego, so I'm kind of like, I feel like people are going to start doing Carmen Sandiego. So I might... Carmen Sandiego is the first one I would think of, but I might choose someone a little obscure. I like the obscure ones, or I pull them out from my childhood and say, nobody's doing this one. Remember this character?
You sure I didn't rub off on you on that one a little bit?
No.
Just a little? Okay.
No. So my first one would be Carmen Sandiego.
Gotcha. Yeah. Just so y'all know, I knew about Carmen, but I didn't know about whatever obscure character you're thinking of, so I'm in the dark on that one. All right, some of this we rehearsed, some of this we didn't. Let's see, first I'm gonna ask you this. Marvel has decided to make you a superhero, what are your powers?
I would probably have a healing power of some sort. I would probably, if we're really gonna get specific, I would be interested in having a power to heal painful or traumatic memories. And then I feel like I should have more than one thing.
I mean, there's plenty of superheroes that got like a gajillion powers. So I mean, I don't think you're bordering on being an overpowered person. So
I think the other thing that I would be interested in, and this is kind of like a play on something that you've kind of assigned to our relationship, is I would be interested in being able to control, manipulate fire. So
gotcha.
I feel like those are like I want to heal trauma and control fire. So, but yeah.
You know what? I like it. I like it. Just so you guys know, so we have this fire and ice thing going on. So I'm the introvert. She's the extrovert. She's the one who always has to be doing something. I'm the one who loves to chill. She's not anywhere near bipolar, but if someone's emotions go up and down, it's her. Me, I tend to be just kind of even like that. So that's why she's fire, I'm ice. So that's what she was referring to. But I do love I'll talk to you later on, but there's a character who came to mind when you said controlling fire. But anyway, I'll pick another time to geek out and bug you about that. I do that to her all the time. And I love her for always being there I gotta get these ideas out of my head somehow. So she's the one who gets to, let me talk her ear off about it. And every once in a while she'd be like, babe, shut up. But most of the time you sit there and take it, and I appreciate that. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that I ask you about yours. I know we talked about that before this video, but just making sure I ask you about your things, instead of just me hitting you with your stuff. Before we get out of here, is there anything you want to say to anybody out there? Is anything you want to plug? Anybody want to shout out? Anything like that? I'm trying to get her to not be modest about herself. That's all.
Well, I am not a cosplayer, but I am a writer and looking forward to doing some training and some speaking. I do have an inspirational Instagram. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me at The Dignity Effect. And if you want to reach out via email, if you are a cosplayer spouse, and you are not interested in cosplay and you need some support, please feel free to email me at thedignityeffect@gmail.com.
Cool. If you ever want to see any of her cosplay pictures from the one time that she cosplayed with me, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, you can also look up #SmooveCosplayer'sWife. I don't know if you knew that I've been doing that, but
no, I did not. I didn't know I had a hashtag.
Yes, you have a hashtag, SmooveCosplayer'sWife.
Our daughter had a hashtag, which I couldn't stop that train, but I had no idea.
You stopped it for a little while.
I paused the train. The train had pulled into the station and just was picking up passengers, but there was no stopping that train. But I didn't know that there was also a train that I had a hashtag.
I mean, it is the same pictures over and over again.
It's fine, because there's like 3 of them.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
That's it. But yeah, so guys, thank you for sitting in on episode 1 of Smoove Conversations. I'll be bringing you guys more awesome cosplayers, maybe even a few celebrities or 2 if I can coax them into doing it. But yeah, that's it. You guys have a good night. Have an awesome time at whatever con you're going to next. Good luck on your cosplay builds. Hit that subscribe button for me, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.